Welcome back, everyone. Today we step into a world drenched in war, blood, and curses. This is not a story of heroes or shining knights, but of a child who was never meant to live. A baby born without skin, without eyes, without a voice, a sacrifice to demons by his own father. Yet against all odds, he survived. With borrowed limbs and an iron will, he walks the land, hunting monsters and reclaiming the humanity that was stolen from him. This is the dark and tragic legend of Hyakkimaru. And the journey of Dororo. A world torn by endless war. A land where human greed is stronger than love and demons feed on despair. In this world, a boy is born, but he is not like other children. He has no eyes, no ears, no arms, no legs, not even a face to cry with. To his father, he is nothing but a cursed burden. But to fate, he is something much greater, a warrior destined to fight both men and monsters. This is the story of Hyakkimaru. Our story begins in Japan's Sengoku period, a time when warlords fought endlessly for power. One such lord, Daigo Kagemitsu, was desperate. His land was barren, his soldiers were weak, and his future was crumbling. So he entered a dark temple where 12 demons offered him a deal. "Give us something precious," they said, "and we will give you power." Daigo agreed, and he offered his unborn child as a sacrifice. When the baby was born, the demons had taken nearly everything. His skin, his eyes, his ears, his limbs, even his organs. He was nothing but a breathing husk. Horrified, the midwives screamed. Daigo ordered the child to be cast away. To him, this was not a son, it was a monster. But fate intervened. The baby was found by a wandering doctor named Jukai who couldn't bring himself to abandon such a helpless soul. Jukai built him prosthetic limbs and a false skin mask, giving the boy the chance to live. He named him Hyakkimaru, the 100 Demons. Hyakkimaru grew up blind, deaf, and mute, but he had one extraordinary gift, the ability to see souls. To him, the world was not shapes and sounds, but colors, white for purity, red for hatred, black for demons, and he discovered something else. When he killed a demon, a missing piece of his body returned. So Hyakkimaru set out on a journey to reclaim himself, one demon at a time. Along the way, he encountered an orphan thief named Dororo. Loud, mischievous, and endlessly talkative, Dororo was the complete opposite of Hyakkimaru's silent nature. At first, Dororo followed him out of curiosity, maybe even greed. But soon, Dororo became his translator, his guide, and the closest thing he had to family. Together, the two wandered across Japan, a mute demon hunter and a sharp-tongued child, fighting monsters and uncovering truths about themselves they never expected. With every demon slain, Hyakkimaru's body slowly returned. First, his skin grew across his fragile frame. Then he gained hearing, suddenly assaulted by the chaotic sounds of war and nature. Later, his voice finally able to scream in pain and in rage. But being human was not as simple as he imagined. For the first time, he felt heat, cold, wounds, tears, hunger, and sadness. Pain became constant, and emotions he never had to face before now tore at him every day. Dororo, meanwhile, had secrets of her own. Though presenting as a boy, Dororo was actually a girl disguised as a boy. Her parents were rebels who fought against corrupt lords trying to protect the weak. After they were murdered, she was left to survive alone, lying, stealing, and hiding her identity. With Hyakkimaru, she found something she had long lost, a bond, a family, and a reason to hope. Their journey wasn't just about defeating demons. It was about learning what it means to live, to cry, to laugh, to suffer, and to care. But reclaiming his body came with a price. The prosperity of Daigo's land, the land that flourished under the demon's blessing, began to collapse. Crops failed, wars spread, famine returned, and Daigo realized the truth. If Hyakkimaru continued, the entire domain would fall into ruin. He ordered his men to kill Hyakkimaru. His wife, Hyakkimaru's mother, begged him to stop, but Daigo was unshaken. To him, the prosperity of thousands outweighed the life of one cursed son. Then came Tahimaru, Hyakkimaru's younger brother, who had lived his whole life as the legitimate heir. At first, Tahimaru pitied Hyakkimaru, but as the land withered, his pity turned to hatred. To Tahimaru, Hyakkimaru was not a brother, he was a demon. If killing him meant saving the people, then that was the path Tahimaru would take. Thus began the tragedy of brother versus brother, a clash between blood, duty, and destiny. Hyakkimaru fought relentlessly, regaining nearly all his body parts. His once silent frame now carried the scars of countless battles, but also the heart of a true human. The final battle came at Daigo's burning castle. Hyakkimaru and Tahimaru faced off in a brutal duel, both of them torn between rage and sorrow. Flames roared around them as steel clashed against steel. In the end, Hyakkimaru triumphed, but when he stood over his broken brother, he made a choice. He chose mercy. He refused to kill Dago, he refused to kill Tahamaru, because at last he understood being human is not about reclaiming flesh, it's about reclaiming your soul. After the flames died down, Hyakkimaru left to wander not as a weapon, not as a curse, but as a man searching for peace. Dororo remained, determined to rebuild what was destroyed. In the final scenes, she had grown from a fragile child into a strong young woman, someone who carried not just her own pain but the hopes of the future. The ending is not about victory or loss, it is about survival, forgiveness, and humanity. Hyakkimaru was born with nothing, but in the end he gained everything that mattered: a heart, a soul, a reason to live. And Dororo, she gained the strength to protect others so that no child would ever have to suffer the same fate again. To be human is not about flesh and blood, it's about the choices we make and the hearts we protect. And that is the story of Dororo, a haunting yet beautiful tale of demons, family, and the human spirit. If you enjoyed this recap, leave a like, subscribe for more anime deep dives, and tell me in the comments.